Before we get started, hit that like button. Subscribe to Mic'd Up Sports, and let me know in the comments. Do you believe Stephen A. Smith is telling the truth about his basketball past? Because today, we're talking about one of the weirdest sports media stories out there. For years, Stephen A. Smith has presented himself as somebody deeply connected to basketball culture. Not just a reporter, not just an analyst, but somebody who actually played the game at a serious level. He's told stories about playing at Winston-Salem State University under legendary coach Clarence Gaines, also known as Big House's Gaines. But here's the problem. A lot of Stephen A. stories simply don't add up. And one person who's been hammering this for years is Jason Whitlock. The 17 straight threes story. One of the craziest stories Stephen A. ever told was that he showed up to Winston-Salem State and hit 17 straight three-pointers in front of Big House Gaines, and supposedly got offered a scholarship on the spot. Now stop and think about that for a second. 17 straight threes, not NBA players, not elite shooters. 17! And somehow this legendary basketball coach instantly saw Stephen A. and said, "Yep, that's the guy." Come on, man. That story sounds like something your uncle says at the family barbecue after 3 beers. And this is where people started looking deeper. Where's the evidence? People began searching for actual evidence of Stephen A.'s basketball career. Stats, photos, game logs, roster appearances, anything. And surprisingly, there's almost nothing. Now, to be fair, smaller college programs from that era didn't always keep perfect records. That part is true. But if somebody constantly talks about their basketball background the way Stephen A. does, people expect some receipts. Especially in the internet era where everything eventually surfaces. And instead of answering the questions directly, Stephen A. usually brushes it off or gets defensive. Jason Whitlock has repeatedly called out Stephen A. over these stories. Whitlock basically says Stephen A. has built a mythology around himself, not just about basketball, but about his entire rise in sports media. Whitlock has questioned whether Stephen A. exaggerated his playing career, whether certain stories changed over time, and why details never seem to fully line up. And honestly, even people who don't like Whitlock admit some of the questions are fair. Because Stephen A. never really addresses the specifics. He just moves past it. No proof, no clarification, no detailed explanation. And when you avoid questions long enough, people naturally become more suspicious. Why this matters? Now, some people might say, who cares if he exaggerated? But here's why fans care. Stephen A. spends his entire career criticizing athletes, calling players soft, questioning effort, questioning toughness, questioning leadership. So naturally, fans are gonna ask, okay, what exactly did you do? That comes with the territory, and the bigger issue is credibility. Sports fans today are tired of fake stories and manufactured personas. They want authenticity. If Stephen A. simply said, "Yeah, I played a little college ball, but I was mainly a journalist," most people wouldn't care. But the dramatic stories, the legendary practice tales, the instant scholarship story, that's where people start rolling their eyes. Personally, I think Stephen A. Smith became successful because of his work ethic and personality, not basketball. The man is talented on television. There's no denying that. But I also think he loves building himself into a larger-than-life character. And sometimes when you tell stories for decades, those stories start getting bigger and bigger. That happens all the time in sports culture. But the 17 straight threes story, man, that one is hard to believe. So what do y'all think? Did Stephen A. Smith exaggerate his basketball career? Did the internet expose him? Or is this all overblown? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you like videos exposing sports media nonsense, hit that like button, subscribe to Mic'd Up Sports, and turn on notifications. Because we've got a lot more coming. I'll catch y'all in the next one.